There we go. It's recording for the 18th time.
Sweet Tim.
You were the first guest ever.
Was I?
Yeah, you sure were.
Oh.
That was the one where we, missed a giant chunk and tried to, backtrack. The whole... Anyways.
That must have been one of them. Did you keep that part in, the one that we did it in?
Yeah, that's if you go and listen to episode 1, you can hear that whole thing. It's horrible. In case no one can tell yet, it's Anton, Leonardo.
Hello.
Well, I guess it's gonna say your name on the post.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How you been, man?
I've been great.
Sick.
It's shocking to me that I'm in a point in my life where a job is better than EI.
Man, yeah. I feel like...
It's weird.
Depends on what you want out of the situation.
Yeah.
Do you want to just, sit
here's
there
the thing.
Get by,
yeah.
Or do you want to be trying to...
I didn't like it. I didn't like having someone give me my allowance, I didn't like it. I was just like, oh, here's your rations for the week. I don't know. It's not good. I don't. And what was really crazy was oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to have all this time to write music, to get to fucking recording, blah, 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 do whatever I want and as much as I want of it. Nope.
None of that.
You know what I mean? It's so weird, but there's something about it. It just...
You think it's bad for the soul?
Yes.
Because I think that, man... So this might be a contentious subject for some. But so we all, especially everyone living in Halifax who drives anywhere or is out in public anywhere,
totally.
There are these super hip, hoppin' hot spots for people to ask for handouts from some people with real jobs.
Right.
So, this is all I'll say, and I'm trying to be as understanding as I can manage, and also trying to be as real as I can manage too. Is some of these people are out there wearing brand new sneakers and brand new clothes and stuff, and I've heard of some people who are friends with some guys who do that, or they know guys who do that, and they're bringing in a fucking seriously good salary a year from begging. They actually make a killing. And so maybe that's not always the case. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But some of them are just young, fine-looking people. Maybe there's a mental disability. I don't know. Who knows what background they came from? I don't know. Mm. Maybe they just... Because it seems to me to be the victim move to either be, I'm going to do something about my situation, or I'm just going to sit here and beg from people who are doing something about their situation. Or, maybe that is their version of doing something about their situation. But, again... If I'm going to be precise about what I'm talking about, it's the people who are obviously mooching. People who are obviously I'm not going to do the work for myself. I'm going to just sit here and ask, and people are going to give me money because they feel bad, and then that's how I'm going to get through life. But that's not doing them any favors, I don't think, because so when I was traveling across Canada, I traveled for 7 months, and I left with $200 in my pocket. Mm-hmm. I was hitchhiking and hopping on freight trains and everything. And there was always that as an option. I could do the whole squeegee thing or beg or something, but I never did it.
Yeah, you refused.
I couldn't, man. I literally couldn't bring myself to do that. It was enough just standing there with my thumb out on hitchhiking, getting free rides from people, and trying to offer whatever I can in good company or, good, who knows what. But it was... Part of the reason I kind of called the trip short was because I felt I felt guilty. I felt guilty about living that way. I was just getting free places to stay from people and free rides from people. But I felt like I had to get a job and pay it back to society. Because if I didn't have society and culture and people playing that traditional game, I wouldn't have been able to play my abstract game of traveling the way I was. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't bring myself to actually blatantly ask for money. In fact, I've had people who picked me up ask me if I needed any cash, and I had a full license to say, yeah, I could use a few bucks in cash if you don't mind. But I refused every time. Something was rotting in my gut every time I thought about doing that. Mm-hmm. So you could say that's a psychological hang-up or something. But it just didn't feel right to me, and that's just the honest truth. And it breaks my heart to see guys that think they don't have another option. Because it must just, for me, if I was out there doing that, I would hate myself. And so maybe they hate themselves doing it too. And then maybe the more they do it, the more they hate themselves. And they're just digging themselves into this pit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's rough. What do you do about that? How do you change someone's attitude? How do you give them the tools to get out of that situation? Like psychologically and physically and skills, and I don't know. It's probably not possible for some cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's like you're like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a walking and begging, I guess. You know, they're just like walking ids, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe just a little smattering of ego juice on top because they, you know, they'll take absolutely everything they can get, and they'll also go out of the way. Sometimes, some of them, you know, I've had it happen to me where they will try and like guilt trip the ever loving piss out of you, and it's just like, I'm sorry, I can't. You're not gonna make me guilty.
Yeah. I just Google searched how much money can you make begging.
Mm-hmm.
A 2008 report stated that the Oregon beggars outside a Walmart make $100K per year, $300 per day. A beggar in Oklahoma City makes $60K per year, or $30K per hour on average.
Fantastic.
So you can do whatever you want with information. That's from mypersonalfinancejourney.com /income-beggars-street-performers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. I'm obviously in the wrong line of work. That's what I'm thinking. That's so silly. Yeah, what if we could just do this podcast with our hand out on the street and just get money that way? Be the gimmick of the podcast too. You think that some of them get in fights with each other? Like, this is my spot. So
Oh, probably.
That'd be a thing to see. Maybe people would throw more money in. There's just... Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say even if someone, I don't know, because everyone's got their, you know,
I'm sure there's
bagage.
Yeah.
But like, even if though, like, you think one of those $60K per year bums is like, they're probably stoked, honestly. But they don't know why. But there's some weird void somewhere in their guts, and they don't know how to fix it. You know what I mean? Maybe who the fuck knows? That just says how much they make, right? Who's to say? Maybe they waste absolutely every single bit of it.
It also turns out this article is talking about street performers as well.
Okay, well that's a bit more reasonable.
Yeah, for sure. At least do something.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sounding like such a giant dick. There's probably some really compassionate, you know, homeless people activists out there.
Oh yeah.
That would be really upset at me saying those things, but I don't think you can like have the honest conversation about the whole problem without that side of it too.
Well, yeah, like, you know, they're not going away.
No.
You know, like there's always going to be someone who's going to
play that game, right?
Yeah. State of mind.
Yeah. And then how much is mental illness an issue too?
Yeah.
I wonder how, I'm going to Google that too.
Oh, yeah. Homelessness is a state of mind, but who's to say? Yeah. There's so many. Yeah. There's so many states of mind that can make homelessness.
I don't think all the people you see begging on the street are necessarily homeless either. What was with that really clean haircut, showered clean? Was it like day one on the streets or something? He's just fresh out of the place, like he hasn't got any dirt on him yet.
Yeah.
You know, or he got a place to clean up.
Ugh, I fucking gave a guy $20 once because he I don't know what don't ask me why. I think I was on my way somewhere. It was during work term or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just on my way. I was like outside the bar. I was trying to get back into the bar because I had to like clean up or something. Start packing up the gear, and I don't know why. I just wasn't paying attention to what he was saying fully, and he just was like laying it on real thick and just super like, you know, I can't. I don't have any, you know, money. Blah blah blah. The homeless shelter. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. $20.
Yeah.
And I was like, Yeah, man. All right. Mostly, honestly, half of it was because he was very persistent and very fucking annoying. Quite frankly. So I gave it to him. And then I like went inside, started packing out, and I was like, wait a minute. How much shelter doesn't cost $20? And then, of course, as I'm like walking in and out of the venue, you know, loading the gear in and out, I overhear him like not like 10, 15 meters away talking to an older couple walking by, giving them the exact same fucking spiel. You know, oh, I need $20. Homeless shelter. Oh. And I was just like, you suck.
It's rough. And I think people who are really compassionate are liable to be victims of people who are good at putting on a show like that.
That's why the regressive left has grown at all.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like, because it could be another contentious point, but as much as compassion needs to be informing our behavior, you know, you need to understand that sometimes people aren't going to give a shit about how compassionate you are, and they're going to take advantage of you anyways.
Yep.
And are you supposed to like stop and, you know, are you going to feel bad because you're not going to feel compassion towards that person? It's not human. You're going to feel fucking like you got ripped off or deceived or something like that.
You do.
So I think, I don't know how you can work that in where it's like, you know, you don't, I think the only thing is that you can just have to be able to tell a person like that no, if you have to tell them no, and not feel guilty about that, and then also not harbor any resentment towards those people for being in that situation, because you know, I could have easily been born that person and been in that situation, I think.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, so then count my blessings because I'm not, you know. But then also count my blessings, you know, $100,000 a year. Who's got it worse? I just looked it up. It is estimated that 20 to 25% of homeless people, compared with 6% of the non-homeless population, have severe mental illness. So like a fifth to a quarter of those people you see begging or homeless in general are severely mentally ill. And the general population is only 6% severely mentally ill. So, you know, there's that. Wasn't there a whole thing in the 80s when they did like a big deinstitutionalizing of people who were in mental psych wards or whatever, and that kind of accounts for a large amount of the homeless population now, because I'm totally talking out of my ass here. I don't know. I'll look it up, but that, you know, they deinstitutionalized them because it was like, no, let these people have the same opportunity to live their life. And I don't know what it's like in those fucking psych wards. I can only imagine it'd be as horrifying as any senior citizen home you've been in. And if those things don't horrify you, then I don't know if you know what you're looking at. But so you know, it's such a fucking double-edged sword. It's so like, it's like these fucking situations or these kinds of problems we try and talk about are so fucking complicated.
It
probably requires
honestly,
such clever thinking to solve in any way.
It's very true. And speaking of retirement homes, when like just as a case study of what you're talking about, the last time not the last time. Well, every time I went to visit my great grandmother on my mother's side, who was only put into a retirement home, seniors center, whatever you want to call it, post 95, 94, 95. Like, she lived in the house she married her husband in until she was 94 or 5, and then she fell once, and they said, don't fall again, your bones can't take it, and she fell again.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? And it was an old house in Drumbo, Ontario. And Drumbo. Yep. And it had, you know, it was just an old farmhouse. It had like super steep staircase, and you know, it was fluky garbage. But then, of course, she gets. I think I told you this story before. You know, the moment she goes in, of course, slowly, you know, actually starts to mentally deteriorate, and then she actually didn't fully really continue and not stop mentally deteriorating